I'm Ted Simpson, and welcome to this demonstration of Activity 3-9, in which I'll be showing you how to install Windows 2016 operating system on an existing virtual machine. In addition to installing the Windows 2016 operating system, in this demonstration I'll also be showing you how to connect an optical drive to an ISO file, log on to a Windows Server virtual machine, and then perform a proper shutdown. Okay, let's get started. As you can see, I've already started VMware Workstation and clicked on my Windows Server 2016 tab. This is the server that we created back in Activity 3-2. In step 4 of the activity, we're to go in and change the memory option, or check the memory option. So underneath devices, I'm going to click on memory. The memory is currently set to 1 GB. In step 4, it says to increase this by 1 gig. So I'm going to take my slider and move it up here to 2. That'll give us 2 GB of memory. Then in step 5, we're to click the processor option and give this virtual machine a second processor. And underneath virtualization engine, we can change this down if our CPU on our host computer is compatible with Intel VT or AMD V options. I can choose that. The system would also detect that with automatic, but in this case in step 6 they tell us to take a look at that and change it to the Intel VT or AMD V option. In step 7, we're to configure the virtual machine to use the Windows Server 2016 ISO image file. To do that, we click on the CD device or DVD, and then under our connection we notice it's set for physical, and we'll click use the ISO image, and then we'll click our browse button to locate the image file. And my system's already set to the image file folder where I've stored the various ISOs. So I'm going to click on the one for Server 2016 and hit open. And once we've completed that, we now have our device pointing to the ISO image. Hit OK, and that will return us to the server screen. After making the changes to our devices, our next step is to start the Windows installation process. To do this, we need to boot to our ISO image file. And step 9 tells us how to do that. Click VM, and then Power, and then go to the last option, Power on to Firmware. We'll see a little message talking about removable devices. I'll hit OK to continue. And we'll wait for our BIOS screen to appear. Our next step is to click in the virtual machine window in order to turn control over to VMware. Now we're going to use the arrow key to move down to the CD-ROM device as described in step 10. And we'll press enter. We'll see the message to press any key to boot in a few seconds, and that'll start loading the files. If you wait too long, it'll go back to the menu. And then you'll see your Windows installation process start up. In step 14, when we're prompted, we need to enter the Windows Server 2016 edition, and we want a desktop experience. So let's go to the Data Center option. We'll click that, and then click Next to continue till we get our license agreement, and we'll accept the license agreement terms. And then we're going to have an upgrade or an install, so we're going to click the Custom Install. That brings us to step 17, where we need to identify where we want to install it. And we're going to take drive 0 unallocated space. We have 120 gigabytes there. And we're going to leave that 120 gigabyte size because we're going to need it for some of the other activities. So rather than changing it to 40 gigabytes, in this case, let's skip that, and we'll leave it at 120. And then we're hitting next. And this will begin the copy process. So this can take a little bit of time. It's a good point to perhaps take a little break. After the installation is complete, the customized settings screen will be displayed as described in step 18. At this point, we need to enter a password for the administrator and make sure you contain upper, lowercase, and special characters in your password for the administrator, as mentioned there in step 18, and then click Finish. Windows servers require you to press Ctrl-Alt-Delete key sequence on your keyboard to unlock the server console. To send a Ctrl-Alt-Delete sequence, as described in step 19, we need to click the VM option and then do the Send Ctrl-Alt-Delete. Now you're able to enter the password for the administrator, which we just created, and log in. At this point, your profile will be created as described in step 20. At this point, let's power down our virtual machine. I'm going to hit yes here for the network section, and then we'll go down and power off the server. And when you do this, you would give a reason. We'll just say it's a planned shutdown. So you should shut down the virtual machine just like you do any other actual live computer. You can power it down through the VM menu also, but as a general rule, it's better to power it off using its normal power off command. In summary then, during this demonstration, I performed the following steps. First, connected the virtual machine's optical disk to a Windows 2016 ISO file. Next, we booted to the BIOS setup menu of the virtual machine and then started the installation process. We then performed the steps of a simple Windows 2016 installation, and then at the end logged into the virtual server and performed a normal shutdown procedure. Well, I hope you found this demonstration beneficial, and until next time, I wish you the best in all your technical pursuits.